This is News Channel 8 at 6.
We have a schizophrenic triple murderer being released today, and we don't know where he's going.
Family members of the victims killed by an ONALASKA man are dealing with uncertainty tonight after a judge grants his release. Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Mike Thompson.
I'm Lisa Klein. A man who gunned down 3 people at an ONALASKA church more than 20 years ago will now be set free into the La Crosse community.
Today, a La Crosse County judge approved the release of 53-year-old Bryan Stanley, who was found not guilty of the killings by reason of mental disease. Since then, he has been serving his sentence at the Mendota Mental Health Facility in Madison. But last year, a Wisconsin appeals court ruled Stanley is no longer a danger to himself or the public, and he should be released. Despite a request from the La Crosse County District Attorney for Stanley to live elsewhere, a judge today approved his release into a La Crosse County group home.
His release requires he follows strict conditions outlined in his treatment plan. News Channel 8's Kristen Elisario joins us live in the studio with the details. Kristen?
Specific details regarding Stanley's release, including when and where in La Crosse County he will be living, and were ordered, protected, and sealed by the court under mental health laws. Generally speaking, though, an agent from Lutheran Social Services will monitor his medications, his living situation, and scheduled psychiatrist visits. Family members who were at the release hearing feel his conditional release is unfair. Victims' family members have been following Stanley's case since they lost their loved ones in February 1985. Some say they always imagined this day would come, but preparing doesn't make it easier, especially when specifics are left out.
We notify the community anytime a sexual predator is released into society. We have a schizophrenic triple murderer being released today, and we don't know where he's going.
They say it's troublesome knowing he'll be living among them.
The fact that he's going to stay in La Crosse County amongst the people that thoroughly despise this whole situation, it's like saying, for him to say, I won. I hope I never see him. I don't want to see him.
I'm confident that they'll really watch him carefully and make sure that he's adhering to the conditions of his release.
Others are not as sure.
Bryan Stanley's own admission was, he said there are no guarantees in life, and that he could 100% say that he could not take his drug 100% of the time.
I'm not satisfied because I'd argued that he should stay at Mendota and not come back at all. If he had to come back, I wish it wouldn't have been to La Crosse County. This is a case that doesn't sit right with the victims' families, and I know it doesn't sit right with the community. The law is, in this case, appears much more in his favor than the victims' families, which is unfortunate.
I don't forgive something like this. I mean, how do you pay your debt to society when you take 3 lives?
I think I can say that I forgive him because I know that it was a medical problem that he was dealing with. That doesn't mean I trust him.
In addition to Stanley's required treatment plan, his parole states he must not have any contact with family members of the victims or St. Patrick's Church in ONALASKA. He is also required to notify and receive approval from county departments, his assigned agent, and the court of any change in residence.
Thank you, Kristen. The judge recommended departments look into alternate long-term living arrangements, meaning outside of the La Crosse community.
And the district attorney's office says family members will be notified of Stanley's release dates and whereabouts.